Hello, and welcome to another lawnfawn video. Today we are so excited to be introducing our new stamp set, Dad Jokes, and its coordinating dies. This set works great on its own, but it can also be combined with the Simply Celebrate critters to create super cute cards, and we're going to be showing you that in a little bit later in this video. We're also going to be introducing our giant Happy Dad's Day that's perfect for Father's Day. First, we're going to check out the Dad Joke stamp set. And this set has these adorable little birds and they're wearing ties. They are just so cute. And we have the birds in the two styles with the tie and then two styles without the ties. Then there are some great speech bubbles in this set, and these are really great for the telling of the dad jokes. And we have 3 different sizes and styles of the speech bubbles. And then, of course, we have our dad jokes. So we have, why did the bike fall over? It was too tired. And then next up we have, what do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. Oh, but wait, there's more. We have, what is brown and sticky? A stick. And then we have, aren't you glad I didn't say banana? Then next up, what do you call a sleeping dinosaur? A dino snore. Then we have, broken pencils are pointless. We have dad jokes or how I roll. Then we also have some very appropriate little phrases. We have haha. Then we have crickets, because some of these dad jokes, you know. And then we have snort, which is my favorite one. And then, of course, we have the phrase, Dad, you make me laugh. And then a little parentheses, most of the time. So next we're going to be using our Copic markers to color in these cute little birds. And this set is just so much fun. So you can take all of those different dad jokes and add them into the speech bubbles, and you can have the birds saying them in the speech bubbles. Or you can take all those dad jokes and you can put them in the speech bubbles in the Simply Celebrate critters. And we're going to be showing you that in the video. And that's so fun because you can mix and match the jokes in all the different phrases. Here are the coordinating dies for the set, which you can bend apart at the tabs or use your wire snips to separate. Then we can take those dies, line them up with our stamped, colored, and die cut images, hold them in place with some low-tack tape, run it through the die cut machine, and we'll have perfectly cut out images every time. And then here is a look at the images from the set. Of course, we have those great speech bubbles and then all of those adorable little birds. Now, next up, we're going to take a look at our giant Happy Dad's Day die. And I love these giant dies because they're so bold on a card and it's so perfect and so much fun for Father's Day. And we're going to be showing you 2 ways to use this die today. Now it's time to start creating some cards with these fun products, and I've started off by stamping and die cutting some of the speech bubbles from the Dad Joke stamp set, and we are going to be stamping some awesome jokes in there. So here I have my Dad Joke stamp set. I'm kind of looking to see which jokes I'm going to pick, and we're going to stamp out the joke and then the punchline. So why did the bike fall over? It was too tired. What do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. And for the last little bubble, we're going to stamp the little snort in there because I just think that's so funny. Now, for this card base, we're going to be taking out the brand new All the Dots paper, which is so cute. And we're going to be die cutting that with the largest of the stitched rectangles, which is a 5.5 by 4.25. And we're going to be die cutting this really beautiful blue dot paper. And for this card design today, you could use like all the different colors. So you could use the same design, but use lots of different colors to kind of personalize it for your recipient. So here we've got our nice stitched rectangle, and then we're going to take the second size stitched rectangle and the large stitched rectangle set, and we're going to die cut some white cardstock. We're going to add some tape runner onto the back of that, and then layer it onto that pretty pattern paper. Next, we're going to be taking out the Simply Celebrate Critter stamp set, which is a perfect match to this Dad Jokes. And we're going to take out 2 of the rows of critters. But another thing I love with this card design is you could change up the color of the pattern paper and you could change which critters you were using. So it'd be fun to create a bunch of cards in a similar style with different Dad Jokes on them. Then, of course, we're going to take out all of our speech bubbles that we worked on earlier. Since this is a simple card design, we're going to add foam squares on the back of all of these images to give them a nice pop. And then we're going to be layering the 2 images of critters, and we're going to be having them use the speech bubbles. So instead of using the speech bubbles in the Simply Celebrate Critter set, we're using the speech bubbles from the Dad Jokes. So it's fun to mix and match them. And in just a little bit, we'll show you how to put them in the speech bubbles from the Simply Celebrate Critters. So here we have our cute little mice, and then we're going to layer in these. So it looks like this one is telling the joke to the other one, and then the other guy is going to give us the punchline, and then our little mouse at the end is going to be doing the snort. Next, we're going to take the bunnies and just lay them on the card there just for placement. And then we're going to remove the liner adhesive from the other two little speech bubbles. And we're going to add the speech bubbles first and then the bunnies after. That way we're kind of building from the top down and we built from the bottom up at the bottom. And that'll kind of help with placement. So we have the why did the bike fall over? It was too tired. And then we can peel off the liner paper on those bunnies and add the bunnies right on top. Now, next we're going to do a little stamp surgery. So in this sentiment, there's a dad, you make me laugh. But the cool thing is you could use these funny jokes for anyone. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut off the word dad. The good thing is when you cut your stamps, you can use them separate or you can just butt them right back up to each other and have the same exact phrase. So we're going to be able to use this stamp in two different ways now. So we're going to stamp out the you make me laugh and we're going to be doing some heat embossing. So we're prepping the black cardstock with an anti-static powder tool. We're going to stamp in some sticky clear embossing ink. Then we're going to sprinkle on some white heat embossing powder and we're going to heat that up with the heat tool so that we have a nice bright white shiny sentiment. I like to take all of my banner dies and put them on one magnet sheet so I can kind of look at them all. I can pick out the perfect size banner for this sentiment. We're going to line that up with the left edge, hold it in place with some tape, and we'll run it through the die cut machine. Now you'll notice that the sentiment banner is a bit short for this sentiment. So all you need to do is take the banner and now we're going to line it up with the right side, making it even compared to the left. And then we can hold it in place with some tape and it's just going to line up with the part that it already cut along the top and the bottom and it'll cut the perfect little banner at the very end. Now we can take some foam tape and put it on the back of the banner and then we're going to layer that right in between our two rows of critters that are telling the two different jokes. And this is just a really sweet card to send to someone, just an everyday card to make them smile. The last step is to take a standard size card base here at 5.5 by 4.25. We're going to add some tape runner and layer the whole card panel on top. And this card is all done. It's so cute and I think it would be so much fun to make different variations with different critters, different jokes, and different pattern paper on the back. Now we're going to work on a Father's Day card. So we have a standard size card base at 5.5 by 4.25, and we're going to cut the largest of the stitched rectangle frames, which is going to be the same size. We're also going to take out some more of that all the dots paper. This time we're going to do the 12 by 12 side, and on the back of the all the dots there's this really great stripe. So we're going to be using that stripe on this card. So there you can see those awesome little fizzy dots. We'll add some tape runner there, and then we're going to layer it so that we can see the stripes, which I think is really fun for a Father's Day card. Now, something I really love to do to get a little bit of a different look out of my pattern paper is to put vellum over top. You'll see it kind of diffuses the pattern and the color and it looks really, really pretty. Now, vellum's always a little bit tricky because you have to hide the adhesive. So what we're going to do is we're going to add liquid glue to the back of the frame and then we can layer the vellum on that. And then we'll add some more liquid glue to the back of the frame and then we can layer it onto the card. And that'll be enough to hold the whole panel on there, but we won't see any of the adhesive through the vellum. And you'll see as we add this frame on top, how cool is that? It just takes the paper and makes it a little bit softer. Next, we're going to take out the Giant Happy Dad's Day die, and we're going to be die cutting that from some chocolate bar cardstock. And I love this yellow, white, and brown combo. I think it's so pretty, and it's a really fun color combo. I mean, really for any time, but it's really cute for Father's Day, and really cute to incorporate the dogs from the Simply Celebrate critters. So now we have our dogs and our speech bubble, and what we're going to do is we are going to cut in between Dad's and day. Now this doesn't have to be exactly perfect because we're going to be covering up the cut edges. So we're just going to cut kind of in between. You'll see there's some imperfect edges. Don't worry about that. And what we're going to do is we're going to split the sentiment and we're going to have our cute dogs and our jokes in between. So we've got the happy dads at the top and then we've got our jokes and dogs in the middle and the day. And you'll see that the jokes and the dogs are going to cover up any of the imperfect cutting. But first up, we need to add our dad's jokes. So you'll see that these jokes are sized perfectly to also fit in the speech bubbles in the Simply Celebrate. So first up, we are going to stamp the what do you call a sleeping dinosaur? And then we can put crickets in there, which is really funny. I love the idea of like the dogs are telling the different jokes. Now we've got the punchline with a dino snore. And then we're going to have the ha ha. And then we'll add the snort. And I just love this because now each of the dogs is a part of this whole dad joke thing. It's so cute when you line the whole thing up. So first up, we're going to add some tape runner to the back of the happy dads and also the day. And we're lining that right up with that inside edge of the frame. So we're going to add the day right below. And then we're going to add some foam squares to the back of the dogs and the jokes. That way they kind of have a nice pop over the Happy Dad's Day in the background. So see, we're going to layer the dogs right over the edges of Day, so it's going to kind of cover up any of the imperfect edges from the cut. And then we'll add the jokes right underneath Dad's. And how cute is that with the dogs telling the different jokes? Oh, I love it so much. It's just so cute and so fun. And the last step is we're going to take a white gel pen and just add some little lines and dots to the letters. And you'll see that how cool is this? It just makes everything look 3D. I think it brings in the white frame from the outside and it just kind of ties the whole card together. And now this card is all done. It's so cute and so fun. And you can imagine how you could do this same design with some other giant words for other occasions. It'd be so cute and fun. Next up, Shari is going to show us a super cute card using the giant Happy Dad's Day without the jokes. So take it away, Shari.
So I'm making a Father's Day card today using the Tiny Sports Friends. I've already colored and cut out all the little friends doing the 4 different sports. And I've also cut out the Happy Dad's Day, the giant Happy Dad's Day from some narwhal cardstock. To create my card, I am going to be using the foursquare backdrop in landscape to create 4 little squares for my little sports friends to be in. And I've cut that from the stripe side of the gray flower market pattern paper. For the sky of each of the little scenes, I'm going to be using this blue spiffy speckles. So I will just cut that down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 so it fits perfectly behind my striped frame that I die cut. I also have a piece of green spiffy speckles paper. I'll be cutting 2 of those rectangles from the foursquare backdrop, and that way I will have 2 green rectangles that fit perfectly inside the frame. I'll be cutting these down so that I have 4 pieces, but I only needed 2. So it does save a little bit of paper. So I'm going ahead and putting that blue spiffy speckles onto a card base, and then I will go ahead and add my frame using some liquid glue. And then I can kind of lay my sentiment on here and see how far up I want to cut these. So I wanted to cut each of these to where I have a 1/2 inch strip that has stitching on the 2 sides and the bottom. So I can cut 2 of those from one rectangle and fill 2 of those squares. So I'll do the same thing with the other green rectangle, which will give me 4 little pieces of grass. And then I'm just adding some adhesive to the back of these and dropping them in along the bottom of those rectangles that the frame creates. Now my sentiment is going to go right in the center, but I thought it would be fun to pop it up, which I know can be a little time consuming with a sentiment like this, but these thin 3D foam strips really help make that a little quicker. You can cut them to fit on the back side, and I'm just going to cut a whole bunch of these, but I think it is worth the effort to have that die cut sentiment popped up like that. So I'll just go through and cut a bunch of pieces, fitting them behind the letters of my die cut, and then I'll pull off all those backer pieces for the adhesive. And now I basically have a nice sentiment that's going to stand up off my card. You could also do this by stacking a whole bunch of sentiments if you wanted as well. Now I've placed all my tiny sports friends where I want them, creating my little scenes around my sentiment. And then I'm just going to start to add those using foam squares for some of them, like this little girl that's overlapping the Y. And then I will use thin foam squares for some as well to add a little bit of dimension difference between the two. But I'll also be adding pieces using some liquid glue directly to the back, which is what I'm doing with the basketball goal here, and I will do that with the little basketball as well. Now moving on to my football players, I decided I did not want the goalpost covering the Y. I thought it was a fun idea at first, but I kind of want this sentiment to stand out a little bit, so I don't want that kind of muddying up that look. And then I'm just adding my little football players with some foam dots. Moving down to my soccer players, I'm going to overlap that one onto the D so it matches the little girl that is on the right side that's overlapping the Y. And then I'll just add some foam squares to the other soccer player. And then for my baseball players, I'm going to do the same thing I did with the basketball players. I'm going to add this one with some normal thickness foam squares, and then I'm going to use those thin foam squares for the one with the ball glove. And then I'll just add home plate and the little baseball up in the sky. And then finally, there are some clouds in this set, so I'm just stamping these onto that blue with some Moonstone ink. And then finally, I will add some stickles to that so I have some glitter. And here is my finished card. I think this is really fun with all those sports friends surrounding that big sentiment.
This card is so cute, Shari. I love all of those little individual scenes and how they overlap the sentiment in the center. And next up, we have some really awesome cards by the design team. And this card by Grace is so cute. She has the pups at the top telling the jokes. And then I love the little dog at the bottom with his speech bubble too. I love this card by Kara. I love that she has the row of birds at the bottom doing all the laughs and the snorts and the you are the best. And then the birds from Dad's Day are up in the sentiment telling the jokes. I think it's so cute and so fun, and I love that brick background. This is the card by Callie that inspired us to make ours today. It's so cute, so fun, and I just love that paper. Here, I love how Tammy got super creative and she added the giant Happy Dad's Day into a platform pop-up. She covered up the A with her frog and it looks like Hoppy Dad's Day, which is so cute. Here, Rebecca combined the dots and the stripes from all the dots with super cute dogs telling very funny jokes. I just love this card. And then here's the card by Elena that inspired us to make ours today. She stenciled the background for her card, which is so pretty. This gorgeous card by Kara features our brand new treehouse die. There's a little bird with a joke on the outside, and then when you open the door on the inside, she has the punchline. I think that's so cute and so fun and would definitely make someone smile. Here, I love Mindy's card and how she used the giant Happy Dad's Day to create a really sweet card. Those stars in the background are awesome. Another really fun way to use the dad joke set is to put it in a magic picture changer. On the front panel, you have the joke, and when you pull the tab, you get the awesome punchline. I think this is such a cute way to use it. And then last but not least, we have this adorable card by Mindy. I love those bunnies so much, and the little speech bubbles up top are so sweet, and I love the die cut friend too. So we cannot wait to see what you guys create with dad jokes and Giant Happy Dad Day, so make sure to share it with us. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!